Today, I will be explaining and going over the liminal lingo to help you understand the language commonly used on the website. Liminal is an English adjective derived from the Latin word limen, meaning on the threshold or a threshold. In anthropology, liminality is described as the quality of ambiguity or disorientation that occurs in the middle stage of a rite of passage. Now, if you were to apply this meaning to the backrooms or other liminal spaces, it would mean that these liminal spaces are a sort of transition point, or a disorienting middle area between two places. In the context of liminal spaces, such as the backrooms, you are required to no-clip to get there. However, after abruptly exiting one place and whilst you were on course to somewhere else, you ended up in a strange and disorienting middle area, a place that you shouldn't be in. An excerpt from Liminal Archives states it as this: strange and uncanny locations that blur the line between real and unreal. Baseline reality is a simple term that means our reality or Earth as we know it, the Earth that we all currently reside on, and the planet that we are all watching this video on. Quantum stability is a term used to describe the first 12 levels of the backrooms. The term means that these levels are linear and don't shift positions. They are also one way, and you cannot get out of the backrooms without passing through them. An example of a quantum stable level will be level 1. Quantum fluctuality is similar to the term quantum stability. However, these levels are more tethered to reality and can allow for escape to baseline reality. These levels are also not linear. An example of a quantum fluctuant level would be level 18. Normal levels show typical attributes of the backrooms, granting them the term normal. An example of this would be level 22. Abberant levels are outliers compared to most other levels. They do not show any common characteristics or similarities and tend to be quite important. These levels are also rare. An example would be the eternal sky. A level element is a force of nature inside the backrooms that may be considered anomalous in baseline reality. The Cogwell matrix is such an example. The chaos gradient is a measure out of 5 that tells someone how chaotic a liminal space will be. For example, level 14 has a chaos gradient of 1 out of 5, not very chaotic. The Basset-Frazier Index is an average of numbers that rank liminal spaces out of 5 on 3 different categories, those categories being difficulty, entity count, and chaos gradient. Level 14 has a Basset-Frazier score of 2 out of 5, making it a less crazy level. The Pritoria Index is very similar to the Basset-Frazier Index. However, instead of ranking liminal spaces, they instead rank entities out of 5 on 3 different categories, those categories being aggressiveness, rarity, and intelligence. A smiler, for example, has a Pritoria score of 3.3 out of 5, making it a more dangerous than average entity. A limspace, also known as a liminal space, is a singular place that may also be connected to other limspaces, creating what is known as a Limspace System. For example, the backrooms is a Limspace system, and in it are contained many individual levels. Each of these levels are known as limspaces, which are contained and connected in the greater backrooms Limspace system. A Limspace system is a cluster of connected limspaces that often share a common theme. There's no known upper limit to how large a Limspace system can become, with the largest known system being the backrooms themselves. As of writing, there are also 6 other Limspace systems in existence with the backrooms, those 6 being the Crimson System, the Midden Ground, Airy, the Oculus Initiative, the Abyss, and the Collapsing System. I'll let an excerpt from Liminal Archives describe thresholds, as it can do it far better than I can. There are wrinkles in reality where there's more space than there should be, and those regions have to take strange and contorted forms in order to exist. The topology seems wrong, and time flows like a river running sideways. There are locations in baseline where external spaces almost intersect, but are just out of reach. Our only interaction is through the vague membranes that keep the spaces apart. They are often fairly stable, still existing on the edge of our reality's rules. They are bound by the regions of space that anchor them, usually ranging from the size of an empty closet to the volume of entire buildings. The cult of Finis Mortis is a good example. Alright then, I hope that explains the liminal lingo used on the website. If you have any further questions, then please leave a comment or join the Liminal Archives Discord in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.